Oh, you can see it's already dark outside behind me.
It is dark,
Behind my
yeah.
back.
By the way, thumb up, and write your comments. We are back.
I thought I will not be so chattery or talkative today, and that would be just because I had some slight migraine. And I thought, okay, I will sit and like listening to you, and we'll just show sometimes that put the likes button. We hit the like button below, and we completely forgot that we need to incite people to help.
Well, hopefully,
Development.
if people have been watching to that particular point, they either already put the thumb up or please do it right now. So now we need to combine the process of dating Ukrainian girl to the marriage. And since we mentioned that in some cases, the marriage happens in a pretty early age. And here's the big question, where when you're 20, 25 years old, where do you have money to buy your own house? Mm-hmm. Not everybody has this money, but in Ukrainian culture, we have some tips and tricks that we are ready to share.
Yeah. So probably we should say that, first of all, our population, 80% of population, okay, maybe 70, they usually live in condos, not the single family houses, because our towns or cities are very urbanized, and we call it like human ant hills or like beehives. It's usually like 100 apartments in one building, and people can be in the same like elevator and they don't know each other, or they sometimes we don't have this culture of small talk, so we don't even say hi.
Right. We can say that it's the size of the country, like one state, but the amount of people in this one state, it's like for 10 states. So it's 40 million people. So guess what? It's not enough room to have private houses and have acreage for everybody. That's why people live more in condominiums.
Yeah, but we diverged. So we just wanted to say that it's not single family houses, and it's a little bit cheaper to afford some place to live, or some people rent. Some people are lucky to get these condos from grandparents because they inherit them. And in our culture, you don't have mortgages like forever for 30, 40. Like now things are changing too, but before, since we had that period in Soviet times, like a decade, when it was a plan to build as many as possible, very like affordable types of like residential buildings. They were very small, like everything was so packed in there, and almost 80% of population, maybe 90, they were provided with living space, and actually for a very cheap amount of like small amount of money. So that's why grandparents could leave this as inheritance to some couples, and they were lucky to get that because they could live like separately from their parents. But in many cases, they had to move with some of the parents, like their wives or husbands' parents, and they had to live together to bring children in that family, to rear children together with the grandparents of the children. I mean, with their parents. So it's very different from the United States. It's different culture.
I would like to add a little bit. The system of healthcare and specifically nursing homes are not existing. It's just very private, very expensive, maybe for certain people who can afford this. But in general, it's very common that when the older generation, if they lived in a separate condominium, when they get older and they cannot take care of themselves, usually older kids, they would just invite them to live together, or they would move to them. So it's like this manipulation of population between those little condominiums. At some point, maybe a new family, new established family, a new wife and husband, they would willing to join grandparent and take care of grandparent and inherit this place. So it's very common for our culture to have several generations in same household.
Yeah, raised in the same, I agree. And but speaking of, again, very average Ukrainian or Slavic family, we should say that getting into the marriage is the time when the man has all the returns on investments, like while dating. And we should probably start saying that being a wife. So the again, this paradigm, this kind of, I don't know, exemplary thing is that the um, husband is a breadwinner. He goes to work, and the woman, she rears children. She keeps the house. I mean, housekeeping. She does all the cooking, all the laundry, all the cleaning, all the, I don't know what.
Has all appointments for the
Yeah,
whole
and
family written
and very
down.
often budgeting as well. It depends in different, in different families.
The expectation from Ukrainian wife, from man after marriage, that when he comes back home after a hard working day, that the dinner is cooked, the house is clean, and the children are fed, let's say this way.
Yeah.
And that's not even lower this expectations if wife still works.
Yeah.
So before marriage, while dating, the man is investing in this woman, and her expectations that right now she's getting all those benefits while she is kind of, he's fishing this big fish to get this desired woman. But after marriage, now it's time to receive those dividends. And now the higher expectations from men, okay, I got that woman. Now I'm expecting what she will provide for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's again, with the newer generation, it's changing a little bit, and prior to that, women were way less emancipated, and they were against any manifestation of feminism. They even could not accept culturally that they should have equal rights, or I mean, in Russia, from what I heard, the domestic violence laws are canceled because it's not considered a problem, even because the wife is not a human being who has all these rights to be protected, right? So even in this basic terms, in the mundane life, women before, maybe like 20 years ago, they were not even expecting to be equal. They wanted men to bring money home. She will budget them and allocate properly. She would take care of kids. She would take care of home. And that was the typical example of marital relationship there. But now it's changing a little bit. Let's just admit this. Still not that much, not the same as in the American marriages.
Agree. However, from my friends, and again, we are the same generation, it's just a little bit different lifestyles, right, over the seas. However, listening what my girlfriends say, that they still have to cook dinner no matter what, and the expectations that it's not just simple ramen noodles or something like pizza from the freezer, that has to be made from scratch.
Yeah.
And for me, it's a little bit like shocking buying meat, to use the meat grinder to process meat to make meatballs. Yeah. I'm still like, I would say that we are the same. We are kind of like something 50-50 mix of that still very caring, very like supporting a person. I still do cook, but I simplify this to the point that it's convenient for me, that I don't need to place too much work, because same with your situation, we have more like a partnership with our husbands. Isn't it right?
Yeah, you know, I was spoiled even in my previous marriage because we never were like this, and we knew that okay, we're sharing this equally. So if one is cooking, another one is cleaning after someone is cooking. If one is like cleaning the floors, like doing this wet cleaning, another one is dusting. And we had 1 day or 2 days in a week, and we said, okay, let's start now. We have 2 hours, we'll do it together. We're free to go after that and like have fun. So it was my requirement. And here it's pretty, I mean, my husband is very independent, and luckily my ex-husband, he cooked very well, and he wasn't, he liked to do that, but my current husband, he is just enjoying cooking. And
It's what I heard from you, that
yeah,
he is a great
and
cook.
he's doing all this excellent plating and like serving food in a very you know, aesthetic manner. I would, okay, I would flare him and say that I didn't even go to the restaurant like as often as I used to in Ukraine, where they could do something same. He always better than most of the restaurants. So
It doesn't make any sense to go to the restaurant if he can make
yeah,
an excellent meal. You can tip him.
yeah, 95% of the time, even maybe more, like 98% of the time, he's cooking. He cooks. Uh, the laundry we do just like sometimes he does, sometimes I do. I usually dust, I usually like vacuum. It's very late, like laid back and relaxed schedule at home. But and I actually know some of my friends were having almost the same type of relationships in Ukraine. Maybe it depends on the, like, you know, walk of life, because since I was working in I worked in the industry where people were like pretty self-sufficient financially, and not only financially and personally, they had the marriages, they were more like partnerships there, and everything was pretty equal. But as you said, like looking at your acquaintances and friends, yeah, I would say that it's pretty typical in Ukraine still to expect most of such things from a woman, from a wife.
Right. What I was going to say, that in your case and my case, we are relatively 50-50% budget participants. So we are partners. It's not like his money, it's my money, but my money is my money. No, we are having either, like, I don't know exactly how it happens in your budget, but sharing with mine, we just have exactly the same bank account where 100% of paychecks dropping off each pay period, and we pay all bills together, and all necessities and all plans in future are taken care of from the same spot. That's why his expectations, again, it's like a team work. My expectations from him, whenever is broken, I don't even try to fix it. Moreover, for 6 years, I played the game that I didn't know how to fill gas in my vehicle. Uh, that happened that when my mom and my sister and my niece moved here, so I had to drive them a lot. Well, I knew how to fill gas in a vehicle. It just was something special that my husband was doing for me.
That's right. See, so as for the budgeting, and we have mutual account. It was always like this, and then in the previous relationship. So we had an amount of money that we had to allocate each month to cover all the like constant expenses, like costs and things like this. Yeah, some utility bills and blah, 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 and you know, food, and the rest, like the rest were on our separate accounts. And then we just decided, okay, we can do something pleasant to each other, and like, or go somewhere or travel, and we were contributing the equal amounts usually. Or the husband could give any expensive gift as he wanted, like at his will, and that was okay, and I didn't need to reciprocate or something like this. But mostly it was like this, and here is the same. So we have some amount that we allocated like monthly, and everything extra, we go somewhere, we decided, okay, let's just put a little bit more and such. But our gifts to each other are usually the same. And you said that you had this kind of, this privilege of not filling the gas, but not my case. I usually fill up my gas. I usually go for like regular maintenance. I do this and that. So we don't have, but I heard that from other Ukrainian immigrants who live here that this is usually what the American husbands do here. They never take care
Right.
of their cars or
No,
anything.
I don't do anything. I did try this once because he was working out the town, and that was something that had to be done. Specifically in the middle of the week, they didn't have any appointments for next upcoming Fridays and weekends. So I risked and I brought my vehicle to the wrong service, and so I knew that his truck is
Okay,
right
so
there because we bought it in Toyota. At that point, I had my Jeep, and I brought my Jeep to Toyota car dealership, and I said, "So and so, please change my oil." And they're like, "We do have this Toyota Tundra." And I'm like, yeah, but what about Jeep? Like I was persistent. I was 100% sure in my mind that I'm in the right spot and the right time. And he's saying, "I'm sorry, ma'am, I don't see your vehicle on service in our place." And he said, "Maybe you need to go next door to Chrysler." And there I'm like, understanding the whole situation, but I still was playing cool. And I said, "Well, I don't know what is happening. I guess I'll need to figure out." And I was so embarrassed, but I could not admit that I was wrong. So anyway, that I wasn't successful try. That's why I let him take care of this stuff. However, I'm trying to be a good wife and compensate this stuff. Even he would be just fine. And we do this sometimes when I work Friday and come back after work. He would cook something for me. But in most cases, I'm taking care of cooking stuff because I kind of like cooking. I just don't have much time to make fancy stuff, but I still do. I want to say that we are talking about two Ukrainian women who are relatively making the same as their husbands and maybe more at some point, which is not a typical case for Ukrainian wife in the United States. I would say that the classy, not classy, how to word this, in majority cases, women who immigrates through marriage from Ukraine and getting married with American men, in majority cases, in most cases, this woman has issues with language, maybe not enough education. In your case, you advanced your education and adapt to the American market, and you're very successful. In my situation, I went through from scratch to school, and I'm also finally on the level where well, we said this at the previous we should
successful here. I would
right
100% agree with this.
I'm just I don't know if people remember from our previous videos or not. So I'm a registered nurse and you're a software engineer in one of the biggest companies in the market.
Let's be clear here because I quit like a couple months ago. Now I have some project to deal with, but yeah, I'm already prepared for the next round of interviews. But
right. But you're very
biggest
successful. Your resume is structured and you have a lot of experience on American market besides previous experience. So we are not that standard Ukrainian women who leave and our experience, how we match the expectations from foreign wife. We are not the best examples.
Yeah.
However, I'm sure that your husband and my husband, they both benefit from us as it is, because we are a good combo Ukrainian/American wife.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're not typical kinds of wives even for the Ukrainian society. I have never been like that. Sometimes I felt like outsider in the Ukrainian society. I was not like everyone else. I mean, I wouldn't say that I was the only one and unique, but there was a niche of people who didn't have the same outlook as most of the Ukrainian women. But what I wanted to say that I always was reproached. What would you do with that? Like sometimes I felt like I am not very smart or like far-sighted woman to let man rely on me as an equal partner, and I couldn't benefit all those,
I don't know what you're saying.
extras anyways. So I didn't get that. Yeah, and sometimes I really felt ashamed about this, but now as here it's close to the normal things.
You know what my husband says when get annoyed by my comments or something? He says, "Of course, you're so perfect."
Yeah.
So, what do you think of what benefits, for example, American man gains with getting a Ukrainian wife? I think that, first of all, the ability to learn a little bit of different culture, try different cooking styles, maybe learn a couple good phrases in a different language. Well, Ukrainian women are pretty.
I just have an opinion that every woman is pretty and perfect.
Pretty, yeah, yes, of course. And you know what I really like about American women? In average American woman, she is so confident. And that's something that I feel that Ukrainian woman is missing in many cases. For some reason, this is kind of part of the culture. You cannot think in Ukraine how beautiful you are, and like think and be confident about this. Not necessarily wearing makeup all the time, not necessarily have your hair done, nails. Like, I mean, I feel that here you just wash your face, you smile, and you're beautiful. Yeah. In Ukrainian culture, it's must have your nails done, your eyelashes, not necessarily like big and long, but you have to kind of put a lot of stuff. Otherwise, you will be judged and judged by another women.
Yeah, so that's actually the point, by the women, not by the men. And also, yeah, the market in Ukraine is very highly competitive in terms of the there is a demand.
I know.
Like the supply of women. Right?
Yes, this is official fact. The ratio between man and female, like female and male, the same like age group in Ukraine, like roughly, it's like one man, two women, roughly. Yeah. Here in the United States, it's opposite.
Yeah.
Yes, it's two men per one woman. So it's like two guys need to show up who is better to get this one. And there it's actually opposite.
Oh, I remember I spent about 45 minutes to put all the makeup and, to dress up, to put the high heels like stilettos or whatever, just to go with a garbage bag, because we don't have these garbage bins here like here in single family houses. You have either in garage or somewhere behind your house. There it's just a big one, the public one, and you go with the garbage bag and you throw that garbage bag and you go back to your condominium, and you should be all like pretty and like with all this makeup and dressed up. Same when you go to the grocery store, because as a luck would have it, as long as you go there without makeup or like wearing some very like casual stuff, you will meet someone important, and the impression of you will be like, what's wrong with her? What happened? Are you feeling okay? Is everything fine in your life right now? So yeah, it's very,
Yeah, not anymore, not anymore. And it's not that, like I don't feel that I get too slappy. I still like to dress up. Unfortunately, it's not that many occasions because I work a lot and doing home projects and other stuff. But life is much easier when you don't need to
yeah,
not take care of
pressure.
it. You don't need to worry about this.
Yeah,
And if you have time and mood, you just do it. If you don't, that's fine too.
yeah, yeah. But again, to be like completely just and fair here, so I personally have not been to Ukraine for almost 5 years. Um, so I have not been to Kiev, where I used to live, and Donetsk, which I probably will not go for another decade or so. It's my hometown, but it's occupied by Russia. And since my family is still there, I don't know what to do because it's not even safe for me to go there, especially with my Ukrainian passport, especially with my like American documents, because I'm not a
In
citizen yet.
process.
Yeah, because I'm not, I am in the process of naturalization, but it's not guaranteed. But still, I have my green card and it's still the American document. So I'm not sure when I go there. But if I go to Kiev, I might be shocked that things would change drastically by that time. So maybe we're just, speaking about this from that perspective, like we had 5, 7 years back. So if
You
someone
know,
watches us from like fresh immigrants from Ukraine, or maybe someone from Ukraine, just let us know. Maybe we're completely delusional about such stuff and it's not the case
right.
anymore.
I think that was like a theory that the immigrant, and it doesn't matter from which country to which country, but let's say the immigrant from Ukraine to the United States, they are kind of preserved their mind, their vision, unless they're going back and forth. But if, due to certain situations, we do not have ability to go back and forth, but we are preserved at the year when we immigrated. So I still do remember prices.
Yeah.
I do remember the names of the streets or groceries or anything. Now it changed. I even remember the numbers for buses that I used to use. I'm like sure that it's changed too, because to my knowledge, they even changed the name of the streets at some point.
Yeah.
Because some of them were based on Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now they were transferred to like Ukrainian writers and like some famous people who were actually good and famous in Ukraine back when they were alive.
So you're taking
But
a snapshot of that time that you left, and
mhm.
you are relying on the perception of that snapshot. I agree. And to be honest,
And
I want to compliment you. You remember the names of the streets, something. Even when I left Donetsk and I had not been there for 5 years, people could say me or could tell me the names, and I could not recall what place they are talking about. And then, oh my goodness, I have been working there for 3 years in that place, and I just forgot the name. Same with like, yeah, I have a very blurry like memories, images of the places.
but that would be hopefully one day we can go back and enjoy and see and go. But I guarantee that we will be shocked, and not shocked from the bad like stuff that was happening through the war years, and hopefully it will be ending soon, so less people get hurt.
Yeah.
But just the cultural part, how everything got changed. I'm not even talking about prices, because when my sister tells me how much that stuff or that stuff costs, I'm like, what? Here it's even more like it's cheaper, it's more affordable here. That's very interesting that we got preserved at the point. People who immigrated in 80s or 90s, they even they wear the same hairstyles from back that time.
Yeah, that's true. So actually, going back to that point you raised, that what they benefit, I don't think that they actually benefit anything compared to the marriages with the American women. I don't want to say that someone is better, like in terms of standards, like marital standards. No, no way. And I think that all the women are just wonderful. But yeah, maybe there is some part of men who enjoys to, experience this new outlooks, having the different culture next to them in their house, who I would say that Ukrainian women are a little bit more prone to be manipulated, like to trust.
That's right. You're reading my mind. I wouldn't call this manipulation. I don't want, like in certain cases, potentially, yes, you're right. But I would say that the Ukrainian women are like an average, right? That got married with American guy. She is more soft. She is ready to listen his opinion.
Yeah.
She is ready to trust him because she considers him as the leader of the head of the household. And of course, in certain cases, the man benefits from this, and in some cases, that can be turned against her because she is giving all her trust in life in his hands, and he can make decisions, which barely happens in with American women because in general, a little bit different vision and thinking.
And they would probably, actually, we have only 6 minutes left, so we need to soon wrap up. But I would also want to say that in many cases, so since Ukrainian women and Ukrainian culture, it's not even 100% guaranteed that you will have alimonies for it, child support, right? When people like dissoluted their marriages, let alone her own like spousal alimony or something like this. And Ukrainian women didn't even used to fight for their rights. Here, men can take advantage of it. So I heard like many sad cases. So yeah, I want to say that we are less prone to fight for our rights. We're appeasable. We're more like we tend to trust more probably. But again, it's just my very subjective opinion. Maybe this is not the case. Maybe American women are also like I just don't want. But it's my observation. So there are good things and there are bad things about our Ukrainian characters and mentality in the international marriages.
However, in general, we are all individual and very different.
Yes.
And I think that it's really not smart even to say, oh, you're this nationality, you should be this, and this. Like looking at me, I'm not a typical Ukrainian. Looking at you, you are not typical Ukrainian. It's a big mix. And it's a big mix with American culture. But even looking at myself 8 years ago before I moved here, I wouldn't call myself 100% like the standard typical personality. Same about you. No, we are all unique, and you need to understand if you man looking right now this video, if you're thinking that Ukrainian woman is for you, you should meet the person, you should talk with her, you should learn because we are all different, and the soul connection can happen or cannot.
Yeah, but we don't urge anyone to go and find the Ukrainian like wife or girlfriend or something. As I think it's not just some catalog that you can go and pick.
Exactly, it's not.
I know I hear from like on the internet from other girls that some men are trying to find, and actually it's very important to say what we are so that they didn't feel that they're scammed or something. That some things are very traditional for us, but again, don't put too much in those relationships because it can be a scam if it's on the international screen of dating. There are some not very honest Ukrainian women who can take advantage of it. But
Dating online, it can be so tricky because on the other side of computer, it could be instead of pretty woman, could sit a man with a long beard.
or actually, artificial intelligence just can change the entire image of you just during the stream and video stream. I mean, this time is getting a little bit tricky. I mean, our age with all those technologies. Anyways, we have only a couple of minutes, so maybe we'll wrap up and we will say to our audience and subscribers that if you're interested in this topic subjects and watching us like chattering like this, please subscribe to our channel, hit that button below, the like button below,
and write your comments, guys. Maybe you can give us better ideas what we when we have next time to get together, what we should discuss. We have a bunch of ideas, we have a bunch of topics to cover, but if you want to tell us what is the most interesting, then we'll choose this and we'll talk about this.
That's right. Bye-bye, because we have less than a minute.
Bye, guys. Thank
Bye,
you.
Ksenia.